Hi, this is Shantae coming to you from Manch on Fire. Today I'm in the studio with Terry Moore from the New Hampshire Furniture Association. He's here to talk about the prison program that's offered to the New Hampshire inmates. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
And how did the prison program, outreach program, come about, the concept?
Well, the New Hampshire Furniture Masters was already up and running, and a good friend of the New Hampshire Furniture Masters was one of the Superior Court judges, Kathleen McGuire. And she's now retired, but she approached the Furniture Masters and asked if we would be interested in going into the prison and starting up a program and teaching the inmates there how to build really fine furniture, and then with the goal of including the inmates that we were successfully training, incorporating them into our annual exhibition and auction.
Well, that's great. That's great. At least you had some inside support, so that's
Yeah.
great. And how long have you been running the program?
This is our 11th year. We've been going in now for 11 years, and they've been successfully exhibiting with us in places like the Courier Museum here. Our show the last 2 years, and this September also will be held at the Courier Museum. So it's been fairly successful.
Great. How are the inmates enrolled into the program? How are they selected to enroll, I should say?
It's all part of what the corrections institution they deem as their hobby craft program. So there was a woodworking workshop there for the inmates. It's a recreational hobby, so they are allowed to go in and make basically whatever they want, and then they have an outlet gallery in Concord where they are able to take the work that they've built and then put it in the outlet gallery, and it's open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. People come in and buy the crafts, and it's very reasonably priced. So, but what we noticed I was one of the first ones in. And what I noticed was that the workshop and the furniture program, the hobbycraft program, although it was currently up and running, run by the prison, the quality of the craftsmanship was a very low quality, sort of like you'd expect in a high school workshop. Students, people that don't really have a handle on the craft. So we had to go in, and to be a part of the Furniture Masters exhibit, the standard is so very high that we had to raise their quality. So what we initially did is, for the first year, we worked with 2 specific inmates, the best out of the 25 that usually take our seminar, and we worked specifically with those 2 people to bring them up to a standard of quality and incorporated them in that first exhibition. And now what we find is the skills that we taught those 2 inmates, they in turn turned around and mentored other inmates, and so it really worked out really well.
That's
very
good.
Successful.
That's great. And how often are the classes held?
We go in on average about once a month, and to be part of this program, it's for long-term prisoners, basically. You have to be in prison for quite a while. To apply for this program, you have to be in there for a year. Then you apply. You have to have another year of demonstrated good behavior to be considered for the program. And then it's an incentive program for good behavior, because if you step out of line at all in prison, if one of the inmates so much as talks back to a guard, this is one of the first things that gets taken away, is the privilege to be in that woodworking shop. So overall, it's good for the inmates. It's building character. It's building positive traits in their personality, good behavior, and hard work and discipline, learning a very difficult art and craft. And it's good for the prison system because it maintains a desire on the inmates' part for good behavior. So it's been a very positive program.
Great. And what types of projects are encouraged, or is it all up to artists' creativity?
It's all up to their creativity. They pick a piece every year, and then they decide what they want to build for the exhibition. And we go in once a month, and we are monitoring the piece as it's being built. And we can, tell them to modify the design or before they get started. They start with a drawing, and then sometimes a mock-up, and then they actually get started on the project. And we can mentor them while they're building it, but it usually works out fairly well. And we've had some really great success stories. We had one inmate that was in for 16 years, and he was released a couple of years ago, and he is now up and running and building and selling his work out of his home in Brentwood, New Hampshire. And we have another inmate right now that's a month away from full release. He's in Manchester here in a halfway house. And he, the first thing you have to do when you get out and you're in the halfway house is go out and find a job. And we were very happy to hear that the first day out looking for work, he got hired by a cabinet shop here in Manchester. So at the beginning of next month, June 1st, he'll be free and clear with his own apartment and a full-time job in this kitchen cabinet place. So I think that's two very good success stories, and we're very pleased with that.
I would say so, and he's off to a running start already in the field.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah. That is great.
And you don't get to do that unless you have some solid skills under your belt. And he's put the time in, and he's built some pretty spectacular furniture. And if anything, he'd be overqualified building kitchen cabinets. But he's happy and content after being in for 20 years to have a fresh start in life.
So over the course of the prison outreach program, approximately how many inmates have benefited?
Well, I think at any given time, there's between, I'd say, 18 and 25 students or inmates in any given seminar. And that's in one prison. We actually go into two prisons, into Concord and into Berlin. So over the 11 years, people come and go. They get either transferred out or they finish their sentence and they move on. We've had quite a few serve up their sentence and move out. Some of them went into woodworking, some of them into other professions, but I think the important thing is the skills that we are teaching in woodworking can easily be transferred into other professions or even into your personal life. The discipline of learning a craft inevitably spills over. The patience and endurance that you have to build a fine piece of furniture inevitably impacts your character.
Right.
So over the course of the 11 years, I can't really count how many students we impact, but at any given seminar, there's about 15 to 20 inmates taking advantage of that.
Great. And the recidivism rate, that's something that's a hot issue with
politically. Politically,
else.
it's always a very controversial issue. But I'm happy to say that we have not had any inmates that have graduated or gone through our program come back to us with another sentence for another crime. Once they have gone through that program and they are either choose to follow woodworking as a profession or as an avocation, we have not seen any come back. One of the other exciting things I'd like to say is that we just had a meeting yesterday with the Commissioner of Prisons in the state of Maine, and right now our success here in the state of New Hampshire has been so good that we are looking to expand our program into the state of Maine. We have 2 or 3 qualified furniture masters, and we are looking to have them go into the prisons in Maine. We also have men from Massachusetts, and maybe in the future we'll look to expand there. But that's exciting for us. It's been quite successful, and Maine has nothing like this, so maybe we'll be successful there, hopefully, too.
Well, that's great. You touched upon a little bit about the auction coming up. Would you like to share with our viewers all the details concerning the auction?
Every year, our exhibition, we build a piece, brand new creation, each one of us, whether we are a furniture master or an inmate, and then that piece goes on sort of a touring exhibition through the state of New Hampshire, and then it ends up at the Courier Museum for an exhibition, and it ends on a Sunday evening in September. I'm not sure of the date this year, but it will be at the Courier Museum, and it will all go on the auction block. So we never know from one year to the next what will sell and what will not sell, but the prison pieces always sell, because the price is so reasonable. They have no overhead, and they don't have to buy their own machinery and tools. So their prices are reasonably set for their work, and people are walking away with a master craftsman level piece of furniture for a bargain price. So it'll be at the Courier Museum in September.
That's great. And for more information, they can also visit the website if they wanted details. Can you give them that?
And the website is www.furnituremasters.org. And you can also keep checking with the Courier Museum website also.
Thank you. And on the website, you also have a donations section?
Yeah, what we typically do to fund our program, which means sometimes buying tools and donating tools to the inmates, or paying to bring in special teachers. But we do, and the inmates are great about this, they'll make certain pieces and donate those pieces for the specific purpose of auctioning them off to raise funds to support that program. So it doesn't cost the state of New Hampshire a dime, and for this successful program, and it benefits the inmates, and they end up helping us raise the money by donating pieces. So.